Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Today's video is going to be an update on the tropics. However, before we dive right into the tropics, let's consider subscribing to my channel. Helps out a lot. Consider liking the video, like and subscribe. Really helps out a lot. So thank you for that if you did. If you don't, doesn't matter. Still, appreciate that you clicked on this video. So the GFS has significantly backed down on the potential for even a hurricane. This at this point seems to be very slim chances for even a tropical storm. However, it's still potential. So in the title, it will probably be something like tropical system still has potential to develop, something along those lines. Because if we go to the National Hurricane Center, let's go back one page. We could see we go to the Atlantic. There's an area to watch. Disturbance 1, 10% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. And formation chance through 5 days, 20%. So very low, very minimal. And at this point, it doesn't seem to be anywhere even close to a tropical system. Just seems to be a broad area of low pressure surrounded with some unorganized thunderstorms that are just sprouting up and quickly dying off. It's slowly moving to the northwest, and once it reaches this area in the Gulf of Mexico, it could have a better chance of developing into something of a tropical. At this point, I do think it might develop into a subtropical storm, but that is still questionable. So let's go into the GFS. The GFS, you could see, has Hurricane Bud right here going into Mexico, leaving lots of rain. But you can see right here is a broad area of low pressure, very unorganized, and just a lot of rain for the west, for the Texas coast, according to the GFS. Not really any hurricane tropical storm system at all. Doesn't even seem to be subtropical. So the CMC is a sort of different story. Let's bring it back. You could see that this is the storm right here, the low, fairly disorganized, but it starts getting organized in these warm waters and some heavy rain with it. And you can see right before it makes landfall, it turns into a pretty strong low pressure, fairly organized. However, again, this isn't really, 1001 isn't really enough to make it a tropical system. It needs to be stronger. I mean, it can have some of the characteristics because it's not all depending on the pressure. It's also depending on the formation of the actual storm. But at this point, even if the CMC was right, it would just seem to be a low pressure with some heavy rainfall and some major problems to the Texas coast with some rain. However, not really wind or anything like that, and there's really nothing in the future. So this is our main thing we need to focus on. So since I'm talking about the rain, let's go to total accumulated precip. You could see quite a bit of rain. Up to, see those red colors, that is over 6 inches of rain, and that would be quite a bit of rain. It doesn't take a lot of rain to cause flooding. Let's go to the GFS. Let's see how much rain it's showing. You can see a little bit less than the CMC. However, still a lot of areas between the 2 to 6 inches of rain, which is still fairly significant. So at this point, we need to just really have a plan for flash flooding. They have like, I don't know what the exact name of this is, but I think it's just insurance, so you could cover yourself if a natural disaster happens. Because it might not be in the news that, a natural disaster is coming and you need to prepare. It could really be just one thunderstorm with a lot of rain sitting over the same area that could produce a lot of rain, lead to flooding, destroy your house or some certain parts of your house. And that could be considered a natural disaster in your family. So it really doesn't need to be considered a natural disaster nationally, but it could be just for your own house. If you live in a low-lying area, I know we do, so we tend to get quite a bit of a rain ponding in our yard, which is sometimes concerning, which is why we always have a plan. But you can see that disturbance 1 I already showed you this. What am I doing? So I want to show you the NAM, and the NAM is barely reaching out into it. As you can see, it's starting to show little signs of this developing right here, but nothing too much. Let's go to radar range / frozen to show you the actual MSLP. And you can see this is the system starting to develop, just an unorganized bands of showers. We will need to see what the NAM has to say, because the NAM is a shorter range model. It goes out only 84 hours, but those 84 hours are more accurate than a GFS or CMC, so, or tends to be, it should be at least, not always, but usually it does have fairly good accuracy. And so you can see unorganized band of showers producing substantial amounts of rain, but again, this doesn't have it going this far out, so we could see how much rain it has showing on a US coast. But if you're wondering what the winds are going to be with this, let's go to CMC, where it shows the strongest form of this. Let's go to 10-meter wind, and you could see these winds are just going to be not really strong. At most, those reds showing that is 40 miles in knots. Not even, I would say 36 miles in, 36 knots, which is about 40, 45, 50 miles per hour in wind speed. So again, it could still cause some damage, but really it's any low pressure that is a bit stronger can produce stronger winds than this. So this isn't really a wind story, or this isn't even a disaster. It's really not even the destructive storm. It doesn't seem to be, but again, like I mentioned earlier, it could just take one thunderstorm to over the same area, stay there, and it could be a natural disaster in your neighborhood, say. So this is definitely something we will need to watch. But one thing I will want to make clear from last video is that the chances of a tropical storm or even a hurricane have significantly backed down, and there's still chances that this could form, but it's really minimal, and we will need to see what the National Hurricane Center does with this right here, if it or what the National Hurricane Center will say. If this reaches here, this little Gulf of Mexico area, and it starts developing quickly, then we might have a chance at a tropical system developing. So it's still possible. And even they say, even here, you could see, regardless of, no, not there, like their environmental conditions could become slightly more conducive for some development when the system moves into the southwestern Gulf of Mexico by the end of the week. So basically, we will need to watch this area. I probably won't be uploading daily now because the threat has diminished, but I will be uploading once in a while. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please consider liking the video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and see you guys in the next episode.